ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। So namaste once again everyone.
नमस्ते
नमस्ते गुरुजी।
नमस्ते नमस्ते गुरुजी।
नमस्ते
नमस्ते गुरुजी।
नमस्ते। So
नमस्ते गुरुजी। प्रणाम।
pranam namaste. We will read the first paragraph of the bhashya. Okay.
ओके।
दिव्यः
दिव्यः
द्योतनवान्
द्योतनवान्
स्वयं ज्योतिष्त्वात्
स्वयं ज्योतिष्ठात्
दिवीवा
दिवीवात्
स्वात्मनि
स्वात्मनि
भवो लौकिको वा
भवो लौकिका वा
हि यस्मात्
हि यस्मात्
अमूर्तः
अमूर्तः
सर्वमूर्तिवर्जितः
सर्वमूर्तिवर्जितः
पुरुषः
पुरुषः
पूर्णः
पूर्णः
पुरुषयो वा
पुरुषयो वा
सभाग्याभ्यन्तरः
समहाभ्यन्तरः
सः
सः
बाह्याभ्यन्तरेण वर्तते इति
बाह्याभ्यन्तरेण वर्तते इति
अजः
अजः
न जायते
न जायते
कुतश्चित्
कुतश्चित्
स्वतः
स्वतः
यस्य
अन्यस्य
there is no अन्योन्य अन्यस्य जन्म निमित्तस्य
जन्मनिमित्तस्य
च अभावात्
च अभावात्
यथा जलबुद्बुदादेः
यथा जलबुद्बुदेः
वाय्वादी
वायुवादी
तथा
यथा
नभः सुशिरभेदानां
नभस्शिरभेदानां
घटादि
घटादि
सर्वभावविकाराणां
सर्वभावविकाराणां
जनिमूलत्वात्
जनिमूलत्वात्
तत्प्रतिषेधेन
तत्प्रतिषेधेन
सर्वे प्रतिषिद्धाः भवन्ति।
सर्वे प्रतिषिद्धाः भवन्ति
तबाह्याभ्यन्तरः ह्यजः
सबाह्याभ्यन्तरः यजः
अतो जरो मृतः
अतो जरो मृतः
अक्षरः
अक्षरः
ध्रुवः
ध्रुवः
अभयः
अभयः
इत्यर्थः।
इत्यर्थः।
Very good. So in the last class we completed the Sangati Bhashyam of the second mantra and also discussed the gist of the mantra and the word meanings. Therefore, we also completed the one reading of the entire Bhashyam of the mantra. Long Bhashyam. Huh? So now we will start the discussion on the Bhashyam, para by para, sentence by sentence. So first we will take up the explanation of Bhashyakara for the word Divyaha in the Moolam. He says Divyaha Dhyotanavan Swayam Jyotishtvat Divi va Swatmani Bhavo Alaukiko va. So this word Divyaha is explained by giving three meanings. Bhashyakara interprets it in three ways. First meaning, Divyaha is equal to Dhyotanavan. Dhyotana means shining. And Divyaha is derived from Div Dhatu. Divyati Swayam Prakashate iti Divyaha. So Dhyotanavan means that which is endowed with shining, means effulgent. So Divyaha means effulgent, and effulgence is the nature of consciousness. And we must note that effulgent is a figurative expression. It means self-evident. We should not imagine that consciousness has got some bright light, like what they call, this stadium and all. They put that light which shines and makes consciousness visible, etc. That is not the idea. Here, self-effulgent means consciousness reveals itself on its own. Even in total darkness, I know I am, isn't it? I don't need a light to know that I am. I am self-evident. Because I am consciousness. So here self-effulgent means consciousness reveals itself on its own. Therefore, Bhashyakara says, Swayam Jyotishtvat, because it has got consciousness as its intrinsic nature, effulgence as its intrinsic nature. Brahman has got consciousness as its intrinsic nature. Because in the case of a physical body, the physical body is also conscious only. But its consciousness is borrowed consciousness. Therefore, body is not Swayam Jyoti. It is Paratat Jyoti. Mind is Paratat Jyoti. Parataha means borrowed from outside. Swayam Jyoti means it does not become evident because of any other means of knowledge. In fact, all other means of knowledge are operated because of the light of consciousness only. Everything is known because of consciousness. But still, it is not unknown and not known by any other means of knowledge. So this is the final meaning. It is self-evident. So this is the first meaning he gives. Second meaning Bhashyakara gives is Divi va swatmani bhavaha va. Va means or. That is indicating that here is another meaning. He says another meaning of Divya is Divi, which he explains as Swatmani Bhavaha. Bhavaha means residing, existing in. Swatmani, one's own self. So self-existent. So it means that Brahman does not depend upon anyone else to exist. So the previous meaning was self-effulgent or self-evident. Second meaning is self-existent. Brahman has got independent existence, unlike every other being in the universe, which depends upon Brahman for existence. Then the third meaning Bhashyakara gives is Alaukiko Bhav. Laukika means worldly or earthly, that which belongs to this loka. And that which is well known in the world is also called Laukika. So that which is known or that which is existing in this world, that which is a part of the world is called Laukika. And Brahman or Purusha or Atma is Alaukika, means it is not an object of this world. So don't go anywhere in search of Brahman. Don't go anywhere in search of Purusha, because you will not find it anywhere. Brahman is not an object. It is not something revealed. It is the one which is revealing everything. And here Bhashyakara connects this meaning with the previous one, Divi. So the third meaning is the popular meaning. We generally use the word divine, by which we mean Divya, isn't it? We have got Divya Nama Sankirtanam. And when we listen to some soul-stirring music, we say it was divine. So Div means heaven. And Divya means heavenly entity. So what is heavenly entity? That which is not available on earth. That is, it is not an earthly entity. So you can say it means extraordinary. Generally, whatever is available on the earth, we can say is ordinary. Any heavenly thing is not ordinary, therefore it is extraordinary. In English, there is another expression, no? Oh, it was out of this world. He has enjoyed being in this world. And he says now an experience is out of the world. Means what? It's extraordinary. Similarly, Brahman is extraordinary because it is never comparable to anything in the creation. It is unlike anything in the creation. Gita students will remember second chapter. Bhagavan says, Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam ascharyavat vadati tataiva chanyaha ascharyavat cha ascharyavat chaina manyaha shrunoti sutwapyenam vedana chaiva kaschit. So it is when you talk of Brahman and you give all these description, you're left in wonder, no, what is this Brahman? And therefore, alaukika hai. So, Nirgunam Brahma is extraordinary. And that is why, many people don't accept the very existence of Nirgunam Brahma. Because whatever we experience in life is what? Only Sagunam. But everything that we experience have got some quality or the other. Even God is Sagunam. And therefore they say there is nothing like Nirgunam Brahma. It is all some cock and bull story. Anyway, we need not worry about those Ajnanis. So these are the three meanings of the word Divyaha. Self-effulgent or self-evident, self-supported and extraordinary. Now the word he is occurring repeatedly in the mantra. Divyahi amurtaha. Then sabhahyabhyantarahi ajaha. Number 2. Then apranahi amanaha. Number 3. And Shubrahi Aksharat Parataha Paraha. So 4 he's are there. And Bhashyakara takes each he as the cause or karana. And how does it have the meaning of karanam? Because one description is the cause for deriving the second description. So it is Divya Chaitanya Swarupam, therefore Amurtam. Or it is Amurtam, therefore it is Chaitanya Swarupam. Similarly, it is Sabhahyabhyantaraha Sarvadishtanam, therefore birthless. Similarly, it is Apranaha, therefore Amanaha. So each one should be taken as Paraspara Hetuhu. Hetuhu Hetumad Bhavaha. Thus, you can use each description to derive the next description. And therefore, he says he is equal to Yasmat. Yasmat means because, therefore. Normally, the word he is indeed is interpreted as indeed. Even we can take that meaning also, that will also fit in the context. But Bhashyakara feels that each set of adjectives used in the mantra are mutual hetu, reason for each other. And therefore he gives the meaning of he as Yasmat. Now he takes up the second adjective Amurtaha in the mantra. He says Amurtaha is equal to Sarva Murti Varjitaha. Murti means that which has form. Amurtaha means formless. So Sarva Murti Varjitaha means free from Sarva Murti, all forms. Because form will be possible when some space-wise limitation is there, isn't it? Brahman is not limited by space, so it cannot have a form. Form implies a boundary. And Brahman being limitless doesn't have a boundary. And therefore, Sarva Murti Varjitaha. Varjitaha means free from, without. And it is Purusha. And Bhashyakara gives two meanings for this word. He says Purnaha Purushayova. The word Purusha has got two derivations. One is Purnatvat Purusha. And second derivation is Purayati Sarvan iti Purusha. So these derivations are tatpadartha drishtya. Purusha means that which fills up everything. Purayati sarvan. That which pervades everything. So Bhashyakara gives Purnaha as the first meaning. That which pervades everything. That which is spatially limitless is called Purnaha. And as I said, this definition is from Tatpadartha Drishtya, from the standpoint of macrocosm. I hope you remember what is Tatpadartham, Tvam Padartha and all that, right? Tat refers to the totality, Tvam refers to the individuality. So this is from Tatpadartha Drishtya, from the totality standpoint, he says it is Purnaha. Now from the individual point of view, Tvam Padartha Drishtya, from the standpoint of microcosm, he says Purishayova. As we have seen, Va means or, indicating an alternative meaning. Here the derivation will be Puri Shete iti Purushaha. Puri means city. We got so many Puris, In Delhi itself, we got Janakpuri, Mongolpuri, so many Puris are there. Puri basically means a city. And here, the city refers to the body which is compared to a city. Shete means residing. So Purusha is that which is residing in the city of the body as Atma. It is the inner essence of all living beings. And as I said, this definition is from Tvam Padartha Drishtya. Thus, Bhashyakara gives the meaning of Purusha from both standpoints. And then, in this manner, he brings out the essence of Tattvamasi Mahavakya and reminds us what our real nature is. He says, remember, you are Purusha. You are the indweller of your body. And you are the all-pervading Chaitanya Swarupam. And the next word is Sabhahyabhyantaraha. Bhashyakara says it means Saha Bhahyabhyantarena Vartate iti. We have already seen Bhahyam means that which is outside. Abhyantaram means that which is inside. So that which exists both inside and outside. Saha means along with. Bhagyabhyantarena, with the outside world and the inside world. Vartate, exists, remains. Iti, this is the meaning. Therefore, Purusha is that which exists within the external and internal world. And we have seen what it means to say Brahman is remaining or existing within internal and external world. External world we can understand, which includes our own Sthula Shariram also. Then internal world, Abhyantaram, consists of Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram. Sukshma Shariram consists of mind, emotions, dream world. All these are all Abhyantaram. And it includes dream also, Swapna also. So, what does this description of Brahman imply? It implies that Brahman is present as Adhishtanam of the external world and also present as Adhishtanam of the internal world. So, sorry, this cough is not going. So, Brahman is the Adhishtanam of Jagat and also the Jiva. So Brahman is not any particular object, but Brahman is the truth of every object, the essence of every object. And we appreciate that Adhishtanam Brahman as existence when we say Ghata Asti, pot is, that Asti, that isness, finally implies this Sat aspect of Brahman. So whenever we say Asti or is, we are indicating that the Adhishtanam of that thing or object is Brahman alone. And whether it is external objects or organs or faculties internal to the body, everything we refer to as is only, isn't it? Mind is, heart is, blood is. Therefore, that isness with which we refer to everything is Brahman alone. And that indicates what? All pervasiveness of consciousness. Therefore, I, Purusha alone, am in the form of everything. Adhishtanam gives existence and consciousness to the external world and internal world, including the dream world. These are all very, very important aspects we have to understand about Brahman. Now the next one is Ajaha, which he explains as Na jayate kutaschit swataha anyasya janma nimittasya cha bhavat. So Bhashyakara says Ajaha means Na jayate. That which is not born is Ajaha. So Nirgunam Brahma is birthless. Then he says Kutaschit. Kutaschit means from any cause. So Nirgunam Brahma is not born from any cause. Why? Because there is nothing else other than Nirgunam Brahma to serve as the cause of Nirgunam Brahma. Therefore he says, Swataha anyasya janma nimittasya cha abhavat. Swataha means from itself. That is from Nirgunam Brahma. Anyasya abhavat, in the absence of anything else. For janma nimittasya, for being the cause of the birth of Brahman. So janma nimittam here is equal to karana. So we can say anyasya karanasya abhavat. But there is nothing else other than itself. There is no karanam from which Brahman can be born. And therefore, what? Ajaha. And here there is a chakara which Bhashyakara adds. And which is very significant. So first the Upanishad says there is no cause other than Brahman. So that is negation of the cause itself. And next Bhashyakara says, not only cause is not there, in fact there is nothing else other than Brahman. So he brings the idea from Chandogya Upanishad, Ekameva Advitiyam. So first we are negating the cause, then we are negating any second entity itself. And therefore, Chakara is used by him. Let us understand this in little more detail. A cause or a karanam can be a karanam only when it fulfills two conditions. The first condition is karanam must be different from karyam, because karya karana is a sambandha, a relationship. A relationship is possible only when there are two entities. Therefore, only when Karyam is separate and Karanam is separate, you can have Karya Karana Sambandha. And therefore, the first condition is Karanam must be Anyaha. Anyatvam is condition number 1. And what is the second condition? It should be fit for being a Karana. So Karana Yogyatvam is also required. It should deserve the status of a Karanam. For example, this laptop in front of me is different from me. So it has got Anyatvam. Sorry. But Karana Yogyatvam is not there. Isn't it? Laptop cannot be the cause of my existence. Similarly, for Brahman, to have a Karanam, you require something different from Brahman. And it should also have the status of being Karanam of Brahman. And there is no such thing fulfilling both these conditions. And therefore, Bhashyakara says, Anyasya abhavat and Janma nimittasya abhavat. He brings in the negation of both the conditions and connects them with a chakara. Therefore, Brahman is not a product. And he gives two examples. Yatha jala budbudadehe vaivadi yatha nabha sushira bedanam ghatadi. So two examples are given. Both are unlike example. Vaidharmya drishtanta. The first example is Jalabudbuda Dehe. Jalabudbudam means water bubbles. Water bubbles are a product of water, isn't it? They have got a cause, and which cause is different from the bubbles. And therefore, which is fit to be the cause also. So both conditions are fulfilled. So he says, Jalabudbuda Dehe Vaivadi. Vaivadi means Vayu Adi. Vayu means wind, we all know. So wind is the cause of water bubbles or waves in the lake. And wind fulfills both conditions. That is the first condition, that it is different from the wave. And not only that, it has got the potentiality, the power to generate the wave also, or bubbles. But, and unlike that, Brahman does not have a second thing which is different from Brahman, which has the power to be the cause of Brahman. Therefore, Vayu is the first Vaidharmya Drishtanta. Then second example he gives is Yatha Nabha Sushira Bedanam Ghatadi. Nabha Sushira. We have seen this word Sushira earlier. And we have discussed in detail with the room example also. You can refer to those discussions. So Sushira means enclosed space. Nabha means space. Nabha Sushira Bedana means, Beda means variety. Because it is an enclosed space, a part of space is called Nabha Sushiram. So for varieties of enclosed spaces, like what? Ghatadi, pot, etc., like Gatakasha, Shalakasha, Hridayakasha, Udarakasha, etc. For all of them, there is a cause for their production. What is the cause? Pot is the cause for the creation of pot space. Hridaya, heart, is the cause for creation of Hridayakasha. Udara, stomach, is the cause for creation of stomach space. Therefore, in this example also, both conditions are satisfied. But Brahman does not have something separate from Brahman, having the power or potential to produce Brahman. Such a nimittam is not there. And therefore, Brahman is Ajaha. We can also give a very simple reason. Brahman is eternal, and therefore it is not a product, because all products will have an end. Sorry. Right. Too much troubling than even last week. So if it is not a product, how can there be a cause? So it's a very simple way of to understand the word Ajaha, birthless. Now there can be a question. You say, okay, I agree that Brahman is birthless and therefore not a product. But I have seen in Tattva Bodha that the body undergoes 6 modifications. Asti, Jayate, Vardate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyati, etc. So if we accept the existence of birthless Brahman, does Brahman undergo other modification which a body experiences? For that, Bhashyakara gives the answer. He says, Sarva Bhava Vikaranam Janimulatvat Tat Pratishedena Sarve Pratishiddaha Bhavanti. So he says, birth, Jani Mulatvat. Birth is the moolam, the root cause, fundamental cause for all other 5 modifications. Once birth itself is negated, all other modifications are also negated, because these 6 modifications go as a group. Therefore, when one is gone, all others are also gone. So he says, Sarva Bhava Vikaranam. Here, Sarva Bhava Vikara refers to the 5 modifications in the form of Asti, Vardate, Viparinimate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyati. And for these 5 modifications, what is the basic one? Jani Mulatvat. Jani means Janma or birth is the Moolam, the basic fundamental one. And therefore, Tat Pratishedena. Pratishedena means by the negation of the Mula Vikara, the basic Vikara called Janma Vikara. So here Tat refers to Jani, Janma. So by negating the Mula Vikara, Sarve Pratishiddaha Bhavanti, all other 5 modifications are also negated. And so from this sentence, we have to slightly modify what we understood from Tattva Bodha. Here Bhashyakara says Janma or birth is the basic Vikara upon which all other 5 Vikaras are based. And since Janma is the basic Vikara, when you are enumerating the 6 Vikaras, which should be mentioned first? From this sentence, we come to know that Janma must be enumerated as the first one because it's the Mula Vikara. And therefore, the order of enumeration of the 6 modifications should be Jayate, Asti, Vardate, Viparinimate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyati. And in most of the other Shastras also, what they give is Jayate, Asti, Vardate, etc. But in Tattva Bodha alone, the order is slightly reversed as Asti, Jayate, Vardate, Viparinamate. But there you can justify that also. That is the beauty of Vedanta. Anything you can justify. Because you can say Asti refers to conception. So the moment the child is conceived, it comes into existence, Asti. Then it is born, Jayate. That way also you can say. Or going by what Bhashikara says now, you say first is Jayate, it is born. Then it comes into existence, Asti. So these are all, just some intellectual gymnastics. Not important from the point of view of what we are learning. Because even in the Brahma Sutra, in the Sutra Bhashyam of the Sutra Janma Dhyasya Yataha, Bhashyakara enumerates the 6 modifications as Jayate Asti, etc. And that is why, this is another sort of you can say, clue. Where many people say Tattva Bodha was a work of Bhashyakara. But in Bhashyakara's mind, the 6 modifications starts from Jayate. If that be the case, he would have used that in Tattva Bodha. So that also shows one more clue why Bhashyakara could not have been the author of Tattva Bodha. Anyhow, these are all, as I said, the research material. And because in Brahma Sutra, the sutra itself says Janma Adi Yasya Yataha. So, sutra itself says Janma is the first modification. So here, similarly, Bhashyakara says Jani Moolatvat. And this is also borne by the fact that when the child is born, what does the doctor check? He first checks whether the child is alive or not. Isn't it? And what is the sign of being alive? Child will cry when it comes out of the womb. So if the doctor finds that the child is not crying, they will usually pat on the child, on the back, so that the breathing starts and the child starts crying. In fact, few seconds are very tense moments for parents and including, doctors, especially in olden days. Anyway, so the first event is Janma or birth of the child, and only if it is alive, we can say the child Asti, then follows the other 5 vikaras over the life of the child. And therefore, we have to note that the order of Shad Vikara generally is Jayate, Asti, etc. As I said, we must not then question Tattva Bodha. We should not say, oh, do you mean Tattva Bodha is incorrect? We cannot say that, because if we point out even a small aspect of a Shastra Grantha is wrong, it will cast an aspersion on the whole Grantha. Therefore, we cannot say that it is wrong. What we can say is that, as I just explained, from another standpoint of view, it is correct only. But in general, we must note that compared to all the other granthas, Tattva Bodha order is an exception and not a rule. Anyway, these are all, as I said, aside remarks and no bearing in the main discussion. So, tat pratishedena sarve pratisiddhaha bhavanti. Sarve refers to anya pancha vikaraha. So, we can say tat pratishedena anya pancha vikaraha pratisiddhaha bhavanti. Bhashyakara continues. Sabhahyabhyantara hyajaha. Ato ajara amrita akshara dhruva abhaya ityartha. Now, once the meaning of ajaha is understood in this manner, Bhashyakara is tracing the consequences of such understanding. He derives the corollaries. First, he restates sabhahyabhyantaro hyajaha, which is there in the second quarter of the mantra. And he says ataha means therefore. Since Brahman is ajaha, birthless, therefore Brahman is ajaraha, amritaha, aksharaha, dhruvaha, abhayaha. Ajaraha. Bhashyakara does not go as per the sequential order of the bhava vikaras, starting from jayate, asti, etc. Therefore, for our discussions, we will also slightly change the order which Bhashyakara has stated in this sentence and go by the original sequence. So after jayate is asti, jayate is negated by ajaha. We will leave asti for later. Somebody is some sound. So we'll come to asti little later. Next is vardhate. So for negation of vardhate, Bhashyakara says dhruvaha. Dhruvaha, we can take it as vriddhi rahitaha. It does not have vriddhi, growth. Dhruvaha literally means unchangeable, stable, fixed. That's why we say, no, the Dhruva Nakshatram, fixed, not pole star. Always you can find it in the same place. So that can be interpreted as vriddhi rahitaha. So birthless Brahman is growthless also. So vardhate is negated. Then next vikara is viparinamate. Parinama means transformation. Aksharaha, parinama rahitaha. Brahman does not undergo any transformation. So viparinamate vikara is negated by aksharaha. Then ajaraha. Jaraha means old. And in this context, old age. So then ajaraha means what? Jara rahitaha. We can attribute jara to apakshiyate also. Apakshiya means what? Decay or declension. So ajara means apakshaya vikara rahitaha. Brahman can never become old. Brahman can never decay or decline. And therefore, Brahman cannot qualify to buy a property in a senior citizen home like Nana Nani, isn't it? You have to be minimum 50 years of age. So Brahman, from starting that Brahman does not have a birth, all these are all corollaries. Therefore, Not only Brahman does not have growth, therefore only it does not have any change, does not change. And therefore only it doesn't have decay. And therefore only Amrita hai. Amrita means what? Marana Vikara Rahita hai. Final modification of death, Vinashyati, is also not there. Thus, Bhashyakara has negated four vikaras: Vriddhi, Parinama, Apakshaya, and Maranam. Jayate, birth, has been negated by the mantra itself. Now, what is left is Asti. I told you we will take it up later. But in Shadbhava Vikara, existence is also included. And when we say Brahman is Nirvikara, means what? It means Brahman is free from all six vikaras. And one of the vikaras is Asti. And Bhashyakara leaves it out for a very good reason. Because if Asti, existence, is also negated, then what will it mean? It will mean that Brahman does not have Asti Vikara also. And that will mean Brahman does not have existence. So Brahman will become Abhava. Brahman will become Asat. That is why, when studying the Bhashyam, we have to think of all these things. Why Bhashyakara does not negate Asti, even though we say Brahman is Nirvikara hai? That question must come in the mind. The reason is, when we say Brahman is Astitva Vikara Rahita hai, Brahman does not have existence, we need to be very clear from what standpoint of view we are making such a statement. And this requires some involved discussion. We have discussed in Tattva Bodha about original consciousness and reflected consciousness. I hope Tattva Bodha students remember those discussions. So whenever we talk of Chaitanyam in Vedanta, we say we have got two types. One is Bimba Chaitanyam, original consciousness, and another is Pratibimba Chaitanyam, the reflected consciousness. We can call them Paramarthika Chaitanyam and Vyavaharika Chaitanyam. Or another terminology we use is Chit and Chidabhasa. Similarly, in Sat aspect of Brahman, which is existence, we have got one Paramarthika Sat as well as Vyavaharika Sat, which we can call Sadhabhasa. Sadhabhasa. Sat is pure existence, which is original existence. The existence which is unmanifest. But the very same existence, when it is associated with Nama Rupa, that existence is manifest. And that is why we are able to say the chair is, clip is, phone is, table is, etc. This is the manifest existence. Now suppose the chair or table is destroyed, burned down. The manifest existence goes away, the Namarupa existence goes away, because when the manifesting medium of chair or table is gone, the manifest existence also goes away. The Namarupa is transformed from chair or table to ashes. So what existed in the form of a table or chair previously now exists in the form of ashes. But the original unmanifest is still there. The isness doesn't go away. Because earlier we were saying table is, chair is, now it is completely burned down. We will say ashes is. The isness still continues. Thus we have got Vyavaharika Sat or Sadhabhasa, which is subject to appearance and disappearance. And in the Shadvikara, the word Asti refers to this relative existence, which is subject to arrival and departure, and which is opposed to Asat non-existence. So all very, very subtle points in Vedanta, which we have got to be very clear. Not only for our understanding, because these are all areas where Purva Pakshis, they will be waiting to challenge us. So we have to be very clear, carefully understand all these concepts are very subtle concepts. So when we are negating the Astitvam in Brahman, we are only negating the relative existence, coming and going existence, see Sadhabhasa existence. And when we say Brahman is of the nature of existence, we mean the original one, original Sat, which is not associated with Nama Rupa. Therefore, the Asti of Shadvikara in Tattvabodha refers to relative existence, whereas the Asti of Brahman is absolute existence. This terminology, Sadhabhasha, is an introduction from Swami Paramarthanandaji. It is not used in the Shastra, because he feels that for Chit we have got Chidabhasa, for Ananda we have got Pratibimbananda, but there is no similar word for Sat. So he has coined this word Sadhabhasa to convey the difference between original existence and borrowed existence, existence borrowed by objects having Nama Rupa. Now one may ask, on what basis do you do all these things, this jugglery? On what basis do we say Asti of Shadvikara refers to Vyavaharika Sat and not Paramarthika Sat? We say it is because first the child is born, and then only we can talk about manifestation of existence. So Asti means the Vyavaharika Astitvam associated with the body. Only when the body has come into existence, can we recognize the Astitvam of the baby in the Nama Rupa. Only when the chair has come into existence, we can talk about the Astitvam of the chair. Isn't it? Before the chair is completed, creation of a chair is completed, we cannot talk about the Astitvam of the chair. Similarly, only when the baby exists, thereafter other vikaras, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, etc. follow. And therefore, the best order is jayate, asti, vardhate, viparinamate. So, Tattvabodha, as I said, slightly differs in that, and I also gave you the reason. In Tattvabodha, it is taken as a potential existence, like when at the time of conception. So that is how Tattvabodha we have to understand. We did not get confused about all these things. It's like, ghee is potentially existence in the milk. So therefore, asti jayate or jayate asti, both can be justified. But generally, The order is the latter, which is Jayate, Asti, etc. Okay. Now one more question can come up, and that is, what is the practical advantage of discussing all these things, which all seem to be only academic? If Brahman is Nirvikara, so what? So we will see the answer to this question in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Thank you.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು
Namaskaram. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Yeah.
Namaste. Hari Om.
Namaste.
Guruji, your last question, that is my question.
What is the purpose of this, all
So-
this academic
No, no,
discussion?
because this duality, okay, there is consciousness and the body is borrowed consciousness. But we say both are same.
Both are?
Both are same.
Uh,
Pure consciousness, then borrowed consciousness is body. But then duality comes. But there is no duality. I'm not able to comprehend this.
that is why all this Nama Rupa, which is associated with all the bodies and names and forms, they are negated. They say they don't have existence of their own. Because from the point of view of Vedanta, what Vedanta accepts as exists is which exists independently of their own. If anything has got dependent existence, then Vedanta says, according to us, it does not exist. So from the standpoint of Paramarthika Drishtya, from the standpoint of absolute reality, all these things do not have existence. But they appear to have existence. No, I often give the example of a magic show. Isn't it? So, appearance-wise, so many things are happening in a magic show. But when you have got the maturity to understand what the magician is doing, then you will know that all these are only appearances. Nothing actually is really existing, really happening. So that's the difference between a child and a mature person, isn't it? In a magic show. Child will believe everything is true. Whereas a mature person, grown-up person, he will know that somehow this is whole magic is going on. When this fellow is cutting a woman into two pieces and then later on joins the two pieces and comes alive and all that.
Yeah.
Some trick is being played.
Yes.
Actually, nothing is happening. Right?
Yes.
So that is how we have to understand. So that's why the whole world is called Maya. Maya means what? Magic. So all these things appear to be real, to be true, but in essence, nothing is true. There is only truth, which is Brahman consciousness alone, which is of the nature of Sat, Chit and Ananda or Ananta. That is what is the ultimate teaching of Vedanta. And only when you have that understanding, you will be able to overcome all these problems, your grief, your sorrow, all your worries, which are all directly associated with your body, mind, sense complex. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because once you know that this body, mind, sense complex is just an appearance, All my worries and this grief, what is that? Grief, etc., are also only appearance. They appear to be serious, but actually speaking, they are not. They don't exist at all. So it is that kind of a paradigm shift in our understanding, in our approach towards everything, that makes all the difference. And that is why, if you want to reach that moksha stage, which is eternal happiness, while living itself, if you want jivan mukti, you will have to understand this and you have to abide in this knowledge. You have to live this knowledge. Not easy, very difficult, but we have to make a start somewhere and keep going. It is not that other people have not done. Because so many people have achieved that. So why not me? That's all. That is how we have to understand.
Absolutely right. So
Yes.
we've called Shakespeare's "All the World is a Stage," and
All the world is to stay. Exactly.
Oh.
Yes, some people have understood this, but they have not been able to say it like the Upanishads say. Many people, many scientists, even people like Albert Einstein and all, they have actually accepted the validity of Upanishads. But they have not, because they know that that validity is not useful for what they are trying to project. Because if you say everything is mithya, then the whole theory of relativity will become mithya.
Yes.
Einstein will have no job.
Okay.
Isn't it? So they will accept everything is what Upanishad says, right? But practically they will, be doing what they were doing, right?
I think they're not able to comprehend that. That's all.
Sorry?
They're not able to comprehend that, to put it in a
Put it in practice.
logical or a.
That's what the point is, so you believe that something is true. Now if you want to live the life of truth, then you should abide in the truth. Now you say, I know that's the truth, but I will keep telling lies, means then it's a different thing, dual personality you are having. That is what it is.
Thank you.
Okay, Hariom.
Thank you.
Yes, Arun Kumar ji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Our organs of perception are the only means to deal and then accept the truth, but they appear to be limited because Brahman cannot be known as an object by these tools. So it is like escaping from ourselves, from our own mind. You just try to, it looks like I have to develop a split personality. I'm not you, I'm not, I mean, it appears to be very challenging to go against the mind, because mind commands first. It requires a lot of, I think, lot of Shravanam, Mananam, there's an entire set then only, but still, I'm just expressing. It's not even a question. I don't think I have understood enough, but I feel it is something. The mind only, actually, everything is in the mind only. Buddhi, I don't know how to create the buddhi out of the mind.
See,
Only
this understanding has to take place in the buddhi only, correct?
correct.
For the understanding to take place in the buddhi, first condition is mind has got to be pure. So instead of worrying about whether I am understanding or not, all of us should start working on making the mind pure. Get rid of all the raga, dveshadi, kama, krodadi, mamakara, ahankaradi impurities. Now, once those impurities slowly start going away, then automatically we will see that this reflection becomes clear and clear. Because today our mind is like a mirror which has been put in some storage for hundreds of years. It has gathered dust, grease, paint, everything. You are taking it out. Can you see your face in that? Nothing. but you know it is a mirror. So what do? You start cleaning the mirror using this, some solution, some chemical, this, that, and all. Once you start cleaning the mirror, slowly, it will start. You can start seeing images in the mirror. When it becomes very clear, completely clean, your own face you can see. That is exactly what Vedanta process is. It says the moment you completely clean your mind, you will be able to see yourself as consciousness in that Vedantic mirror. So it's a process. I mean, at any stage, we cannot say, oh, I have completed Vedanta. It's not possible at all. So
First,
it's a continuous process of cleaning the mind. That is what we should pay more importance to. Side by side, this Shravanam, Mananam has to go on. So that when this thing becomes clear, all this knowledge automatically will, it is self-evident, because that's what we keep on saying. Brahman consciousness is self-evident. And what is that consciousness? I am that consciousness. So that is how the whole process will take place. Lot of patience, perseverance, application are required. We have to continue with that.
first we have to be a karma yogi, and then I think
First, karma yoga is the process for cleansing. That
Let me
ahankara, ego should be completely subdued. In fact, I would say dissolved. That is how it is.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Yes, any other question? No hands are going up. So I guess we can close the session. Continue in the next class. Okay. Hari Om. Thank you all.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om,
Thank
Guruji.
you.
Thank you.